percent of the total budget, which is goes to the counties or goes to the constituencies. But yes, 2.5% is substantial because it will increase the allocation going to the counties from minimum 15% to 17.5%. As you know that we said we wanted more money to go to the counties than is there. We said minimum 15%, but now that's where they have been stuck. If more money goes down there, a lot of more services can be provided. You see, such services like road construction. We still have a structure that is retained. We have retained the old unitary system structure. I was a minister for roads, and I'm the one who introduced these road agencies, which is Kenha, Kura, and Kera. Because of that time, we saw there was too much bureaucracy. The accounting officer was only the PS of roads. He was the one who was holding the authority to incur expenditure. And therefore, work around the country was moving in a very, very staggered and very slow pace. So we decided to create an agency outside the bureaucracy. And this we did with the support of the World Bank and IMF. And we created Kenha for the national highways and international highways and trunk roads. Then Kura for urban roads and Kera for rural roads. But with the devolved system of government, you don't need Kura and Kera. Those services can be done by the county governments. There's no reason why Kura in Nairobi should be having roads here in Mombasa. There are several roads in Mombasa. Nearly over 50% of roads in Mombasa here are not under the county government of Mombasa. They cannot do anything about them. People are making noise to the governor, but the governor cannot do anything because those roads belong to Kura in Nairobi. Kera, Kenya rural roads, has roads in Nairobi. Many roads in Nairobi do not belong to the county government of Nairobi. People are making noise to the governor, but the governor cannot do anything because they don't even have funds to do those roads. I will say that these roads should come under the county government and funding should be given to the county government to do those roads. The same thing with the rural roads in the need there. Only Kenha should remain under the national government. Then service provision will be more efficient. The other question was about donors, that donors are pulling back or pulling out. What to do? What's the way out? Yes, surely donors, we don't need donors. We need basically investors, investment and trade. That's all that we need. We need investment and trade. Many countries have been saddled with expensive debts, which they cannot pay. The interest rate itself is too high when you take that loan. And it continues to impoverish many poor countries. So the route is to investment, create a conducive environment that will be able to attract investors to come. We have a country that with a lot of potential. If we create an enabling environment, many investors will come to do those projects for which we are now going out to the national market to borrow funding to fund. That is, we will not be needing that. We will be needing trade. In other words, have access to external markets so that you can be able to take your goods to those markets. Let them open the market to you to trade, and then invite them to come and invest in your country. This is what you need. So I'm not worried about donors pulling out at all. The other question that you asked is about ODM in government. ODM donated experts to government. But you know, it was just July last year. We are now in May. They have not done any budget. The first budget is going to be done this year. Mr. Mbadi's Minister for Finance, his budget will be read in Parliament this year, next month in June. So judge him, give him time. It's not like instant coffee that you brew and drink at the same time. It takes time. So give him time and you will see a difference. Let somebody come out with his budget and you see. You see, for example, that this housing loan, this housing levy people are paying is going to be converted into an investment so that you do, if you don't get a house, you can be entitled to a refund in the future. So please give ODM time to show you how we can do it. And you'll see. Thank you very much.
The only issues raised on the budget has been on a case, the examination, the money for exams that have not been captured in the budget. But that's just a drop in the ocean of a 4.3 trillion shillings budget. So I urge all Kenyans, the same way you scrutinize the finance bill and the revenue side of raising money to finance that budget, let us be robust as such to look at the budget estimates and point out areas that can lead of wastages and areas that we can cut costs. You know, last year, even December, when you're doing the four pieces of law, the tax amendment bill, the tax procedures amendment bill, and the business amendment bill, we received approximately 1,800 written views from members of the public. At the same time, when we're doing the supplementary budget and you're doing the main budget, the total views from the public were less than 200. You can tell where the energies are. And if we leverage on that energy, we can achieve a balance of this country that is balanced, eliminate budgeted corruption, and make sure we have a budget that serves the whole of the Republic of Kenya. Distinguished fellow accountants, what lies ahead is not a question of policy imagination, but political goodwill, institutional discipline, and strategic execution. We have the tools, we have the framework. What we now need is collective resolve. Let us recognize that economic transformation cannot be decreed, it must be built. It must be earned through sound governance, credible institutions, and the careful balancing of fiscal responsibility. Fellow accountants, I would like to bring to your attention some of the bills that are before the Committee of Finance and National Planning for your input and consideration. At the same time, when we're doing the estimates and the finance bill, we'll also be carrying out public participation on Virtual Asset Services Bill. Our chief guest today, in 2018, when I was first elected in my first term as a member of Parliament, I did raise a question at the floor of the House on how prepared Kenya was on matters of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. And I remember the response from the then governor of Central Bank, who answered that that is a passing cloud. That is 2018. But I'm happy that 7 years later, what was said to be a passing cloud, we have eventually realized it is here with us to stay. Between July of 2023 and July of 2024, $3.3 billion was exchanged across different platforms on virtual assets. That tells you that this space will soon overtake mobile money transfers and bank transfers. So with a space that remains completely unregulated, it is a big risk for us. But it's also a great opportunity for us, because in the whole of Africa, only Nigeria and South Africa, and I think Ghana, have enacted laws that recognize virtual assets as part of their infrastructure. And therefore, we have a Silicon Valley moment. If we become the first country, the third country to pass good legislation on virtual assets, we will see the best of the Binance and all those other great virtual asset institutions globally come and set base in Kenya as a gateway to operate in Africa. I look forward to the first stable coin being issued in this country, and perhaps that could be the solution to reduce the dollarization of the Kenyan economy. We have the public audit bill that was passed by my committee, sponsored by yours truly, that's now before the Senate. And key take home here is it reduces the time between when you're required to submit your financial statements at the end of the year to the Auditor General, so that it gives the Auditor General sufficient time to look at our financial statements. Thirdly, we have the public procurement disposal amendable bill that I sponsored, that's also before the Senate, that among other reasons seeks now to provide fiduciary responsibility to the accounting officer of the entity. Because all these errors of commission and omission that are done whether in our procurement system or our payment system, very few of the PFM Act limits the responsibility to the accounting officer. Now, this puts specific penalties to the accounting officer responsible. Most importantly, the Public Procurement Disposal Act, also bill now before the Senate, provides now the legal guideline to migrate from cash to accrual accounting. And I don't need to overstate the importance of cash to accrual accounting to fellow accountants seated here with us today.
CPA Sandip and also FCPA Mudanyi for that. So my second round of question goes to Professor Wakindiki.
meantime, I kindly request that we be